All right, welcome back, friends. It's the Soul Material Podcast, the podcast you cheer for, the channel you cheer for, and we're back with another episode of that sneaker business talk. So let's dive in. I'm T. Mart, the Street Shark.
This your man, the OGEO. Welcome back.
All right, and we're just going to give you this. This is a great example of what we like to call clarity over popularity, because we're just going to take a time out to showcase independent brand up on the rise. We've already talked about it, and we've already talked about them. So that brand is EQLZ. All right, and I'm gonna kick it to the OG to tell you about the man in charge of that brand that started it on his own, and what he means to the sneaker game. So, OG, give us a little history lesson on the origins of EQLZ and who's behind the scenes.
Definitely with Shark. Well, no offense to the other OGs. So, to you guys, just sit back and relax and just listen for a couple minutes. 'Cause you guys already know this, but the man in charge is the man we all know and love. If you don't know him, shame on you. Our man AC Aaron Coop, and he is responsible for or influencing some of your favorite sneakers that have probably been remade, retro and retrograded, and re-released probably a minimum of 3 to 8 times now. So you're talking about the Pippen ones, some of the Barclays, the LeBron ones, so forth. Aaron Cooper was responsible. Great Nike designer, just world renowned all around, and decided to go independent. And he has his EQLZ brand, and from that point, things have really skyrocketed. Not because of just him, but as you say, you got the name, you got the fame, but do you have not only the credentials, but everything to back it up? And from the materials to the performance to everything around, his models and his brand, the last couple of years, definitely has really gone up, not only just in America, but all across the world. So it's good to have someone who has foundationally been in the game and able to use his foundation, his credentials, and so forth to propel to doing something that he wanted to do. And he's always loved like sneakers, and not only just designing them, but just the functionality of shoes and so forth. So he's worked with everyone from LeBron, Sabrina, you name it. He's well renowned. So kick it to the Shark because he was able to get something that's now sold out online, a part of the brand. And Shark is on you because I'm waiting to see these. I haven't seen these in person myself. I'm just excited to see what you got for us behind. I don't know it's behind you or what's going on, but it's time to do the show and tell. Shark, EQLZ, what did you end up copying?
All right. So again, you named a lot of athletes. There's so many of them. Staple with Nike basketball. There's parts of the technology that you just won't even see, you wouldn't see unless it was for AC. And some of the like the inner sock booty and everything like that was new at the time, and he was just being innovative, working with Penny and Kevin Garnett and stuff like that. But another former Nike athlete, and has transitioned on and off the court, and did a partnership with EQLZ, and I think it was well executed. They actually released two shoes, and I got one of them. So let's talk about Nate Robinson. All right, so Nate Robinson has done a collaboration with EQLZ, and they released two shoes. All right, in using the KryptoNate moniker. If you're familiar, that was with the dunk contest where he was jumping over Dwight Howard, and he won the dunk contest multiple times. And this little KryptoNate, beating Superman, Dwight Howard. So for those that don't know that part of the history lesson, that was a quick blurb on the colorway. So let's get to the box. We love sneaker boxes because sneaker boxes matter. So let's start with the box first. All right. Love. It's just one big comic book. This gives me Outcast, AT Aliens illustration vibes on here. So there's your. Let me get that glare going. There you go. EQLZ. All right. And this is so you can see Nate Robinson with the green Knicks jersey, jumping over Dwight. Just a couple little action flicks from Nate's NBA career, and just some personal things along the side. Like on the backside, it's literally just like a comic, like it's Lex Luthor and Superman with the kryptonite. So I'm not gonna read it to you, but just letting you know, you can see that that's like the jersey and the kryptonite. All right. So, just saying like where he draws some of his power from. So like one of the places where he draws power from is family. All right. So here's just a illustration of some of his family. And you'll see it all the way around. If you remember, he did the celebrity, did the boxing at one point in time, because he was a good athlete, and then, with his little son right there. So there's another flick of that. If anyone knows about Nate's personal life of recent, he was waiting for an organ transplant. So this was his organ donor that, because he had a, health situation, health scare that he was on the waiting list for quite a while, and he found a donor match. So now he's got the transplant and really, thriving now. So now here's the label. All right. So this is the 247 model. This was actually the first model that came out, and they just did a colorway for this. All right, so this is the one of the staple models, the 247, and if you can see, if you recall, Nate's from Seattle, so this is the Seattle skyline in the background as well. So there you go with the sneaker box. All right, so let's get into the kicks. I know that's what y'all wanted to see anyway. That's what you wanted to see. All right. So do I need a little drum roll or something like that? Because these things are fire. I'm just going to tell you. So I'm just going to slowly bring it to life like that. Here we are. All right. Wow. We love the details. We know we love all the details. Multiple materials going on. So let's just dive into it. So I'll give you a little view. You can actually see the green, how reflective that is. And it's like that iridescent, candy paint that it goes from, it's like green, yellow, it's greenish yellow hues. All right. I know it's a lot of light coming in here, but this is like that extra green, lime, right here on top of the green. I love when we have different shades of the colors, to reflect each other. This gives me like, what was the the Gary Payton, what is it, Gary Payton 4 that had the, yeah,
Got
so
it.
you had this type of material that kind of shaped like that, maybe some influence, I don't know. And then there's the back tab with the Nate. So I wouldn't say this is full patent leather, but it looks like it from a distance. But when you get up to it, you see the shine, and it's such a mirror reflection of yourself. Like I can literally look at myself in this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's take you around the sole. Like this is an experienced designer for this type of sole to come out on an independent brand. Like come on, look how detailed that is. All right, even on the laces, got the Nate. We can focus. There you go. Nate on the laces. Now let's look at that mesh toe box. Look at that mesh toe box. All right.
That's immaculate.
Wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And if you want to look on the inside too, if we can get some extra light in there. I can't really see, but this is a nice sock. Well, not even sock. Like this is sturdy. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't like just a little sleeve or whatever. Like these were definitely meant to hoop in, and I could actually see. Well, you can't see it here because I had to stretch this open so much, but it has. In the previous episodes, we talked about how there was extra padding in the heel cups of certain shoes. Well, it's here too. It's definitely here too. Where if you see where I'm pointing at the bottom where it meets the sole, it's not hollow, but the padding grips like up here. So you can see where the heel lock and then the padding around that ankle, that base of the back of your foot and that Achilles, you know what I mean? So I could only see how that really just massages your foot and wraps it in there, wraps it around. So again, and then there's your EQLZ 247 moniker of the name of the model. They also came with, if I can find them, there's some extra laces in here somewhere. So they came with green laces as well. So I'll let the OG give you a reaction while I look up those laces so I can show those off too. But yeah, so what do you
And
think now that you
again,
see them for the first time? Oh, here they are.
this is crazy, man, because long story short, man, don't sleep on Nate. If you are a fan of hooping and Hooper's Hooper, I think right now everyone's favorite Hooper's favorite Hooper as far as hooping is probably Kevin Durant. And think if Kevin Durant was what 5'8", 5'9". That's what I would describe Nate Robinson as. The athletic ability, just God given, man. And he owned a time period to where he was a big deal. What he was doing was a big deal. And that even being a homage of the Nike shoe that had a certain colorway. It was, I forgot the actual name of the model, but the Flight Positive type model that was that type green. It was one point that shoe was almost going for $1,000. Like seriously. So, I know how history can be written, but again, as I say, it was a great time to be alive, man. And anywhere Nate went from when he got drafted initially from the Knicks, from his latter time in Chicago, he always hooped and always played, man, and played the right way. And given everything that's gone on, I know as far as social media, he's more known for the boxing and getting knocked out than his actual career. But overall, man, upstanding dude, outstanding dude. And he owned a piece of not only slam dunk history, but basketball history where he took full advantage of it, man. And I'm just glad to see him getting the homage that he deserves, man, because that shoe now reminds me of his, but with the whole green slash gold slash that's that flight positive DMV DC thing going with that too. And just that model is, I'm still waiting on the kill deal, but I can't get a kill deal because these things are so popular, doing so well. Of the black and white and black ones, that's what I'm waiting to kind of get. So I want to get both of those like on a double deal. But that shoe overall, man, I'm waiting to see how they perform on the court. But as far as giving homage to a player and the quality of that shoe and what was done and how it was done, it's an A plus plus plus. So even if you weren't a part of that time, again, sneaker boxes matter. The story is told so much on that box from the beginning to now where he is now and everything in between. So shout out to AC, man. But of course, if he's involved, he ain't gonna do it unless it's done right. So, and again, with everything Nate has gone through, and now him having an upswing, particularly from a health standpoint, kudos to him, man, because we need to protect our heroes, man. And before there was a Steph Curry, there was this literally 5'8" guy that was jumping, dunking, hitting threes, pick and roll. Like there was no weakness to Nate Robinson's game. And if you try to take something about his height, he had the body of a football player, which he was so strong. It was like, yo, like, so people who tried to bully him as far as in the paint or on the block, they weren't, you just wouldn't have it. So I would highly recommend you all to go to YouTube and check out not only his highlights, but just study Nate Robinson's game, man. The footwork was on point, jump shot was on point, and he always played the game with some kind of enthusiasm and love, man. And that's what that shoe shows for Shark. So A plus all the way around.
Yeah, definitely. Because Nate, I think this is a great story arc. Well execution from beginning to end. And with Nate, like he was such a spark plug and a bundle full of energy. And he had game. Like we can take it back and have the whole real conversation about the lineage and how he was one of the first people that actually played football and basketball in college Division 1. Now they always, could you play NFL? Well, like he actually and was good. If I'm not mistaken, his dad was an NFL player. So just really translating that toughness to the basketball court. And there was one point in time where it was like your point guard got injured, go get Nate Robinson. He will get you. He'll win you 2 games in the first round of the playoffs. Bulls, Nuggets, Nick, whatever. What you want? What you want? And he was always and then his time up in Boston as well. You know what I'm saying? Like there were so many different levels, and I think we just didn't appreciate Nate because of his love of the game. He's literally one of the only people that has his summer league jersey, NBA summer league jerseys retired. And he wasn't afraid to actually compete in it and then continue to compete at it. If I'm not mistaken, he's actually tried to ask the NBA, like, can we get a summer league for veterans? I just want to hoop, you know what I'm saying, in a controlled environment, you know what I'm saying? Let me, iron sharpens iron, so those type of things. Great to see that he's a good ambassador of the game. And, one of the reasons why we wanted to do this episode is just to, give that clarity over popularity, as we like to call it, and just make sure that part of the storytelling, the history, is there's some seeds that are planted so that new sneaker enthusiasts can join along with the facts that are associated with the story, and it's not just a sensational, hype beast social media train of buy this, this is a good cause. It's he did some things. I think there was a special release in the hometown in Seattle, and done some things with some Boys and Girls Clubs. So, we love the philanthropic missions, and Nate was just, in a world of PEs and signatures, like he never really had his just due where the KryptoNates were released and all this other stuff, so, the infamous stolen KryptoNate phones, and you already mentioned the resale value on those things were ridiculous. So imagine if the consumer got to get that. And I think that was part of the reason why AC, and Nate linked up for this so that the consumers could actually take home a piece of Nate's story and, really appreciate the attention to detail and the meticulous, way that the shoe was built and tells the story of what they're trying to accomplish. Because that box is a piece of art by itself. All right, so we didn't want to go. We definitely, we just wanted to stay high level here in this episode and really, just give flowers to Nate Robinson while he's here, and more importantly, AC Aaron Cooper, the man with the plan and the vision, because. We've talked about this on previous episodes, and brands we support, and talking about independent brands. We had a whole episode on independent brands as well. The sneakers we like, sneakers of the year, and the 247 made it into an honorable mention of the sneakers of the year. But it's 2025, and we got this 247 Nate Robinson KryptoNate edition. All right. So, any final words from the OG before we wrap up this episode of Clarity Over Popularity?
No, man, you are holding a piece of history, not his story, and I'll leave it there. So, to AC again, A plus, but we don't expect anything less when you are at the helm. So, all these years later, still got it, as they say in WWE. You still got it. You still got it, definitely.
Definitely. All right. Well, another episode in the books. Sneaker business talk from the Soul Material Podcast. Give you that clarity over popularity. So signing off is T Mark the Street Shark.
And your man, the OGEO. Until next time, peace to you.
Sneaker business talk. It's the Soul Material Podcast.